Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to see State Board Class 10 Science 2 chapter number 4. In that already first part we have finished. In the second part we are going to discuss about the need of environmental conservation. First topic what we have to discuss today is need of environmental conservation. When we talk about the general public, they should know about the rules of the environment conservation and its real need, because as we know that all the living organisms, especially the human beings, when we talk about the environment, plays very vital role in their survivals. And if environment will be healthy, a person will be healthy. If environment is not good, then automatically there will be an adverse effect on the human beings, and along with that the all living organism whichever is existing on the earth surface. So this particular section, when we talk about the environmental conservation, everyone should know about it, especially the child, and because these childs are only going to be a future for the earth, so they should know it very well. And that's why this need of environmental conservation is one of the most important part and the social responsibility. When we talk about this particular section, in that the peek into the history, when we talk about in 1972 United Nations Environment Program has been established in a conference arranged on human and environment, in which environmental problems were discussed. And afterward in India, a separate environmental department has been established. After through discussions on the environmental program, Ministry of Environment and Forest is involved in planning, inducting and increasing awareness about environment and forest through various programs since 1985. And then afterward, a lot of work has been done by this department and the Ministry of Environment. The further part, what we have to discuss in this, the environmental conservation and our social responsibility or the respectability. When we talk about this particular section, that each and every person is having their own responsibility, and that responsibility should be understood and followed properly. Since the existence of human, there is a interrelationship between human and environment, and humans stepped on the earth long after formation of earth, because when we talk about the history of the earth, we can say that the earth came in existence a long back. And when we talk about the humans, we don't have so long history of the humans. Humans are very new on the surface of the earth. So the humans, they have to take care of the earth, because now humans are considered as the one of the dominant living organism on the earth, which utilizes the natural resources in all possible ways. And that's why this is more important for the humans to learn about the conservation of environment. Further, the laws enacted about environmental conservation, laws enacted about environmental conservation, Forest Conservation Act 1980 and the Environmental Conservation Act 1986. So this two act came in India when we have to talk about the environmental conservation in India. So in a Forest Conservation Act 1980, the land reserved for forest conservation has been prohibited to use for any other purpose by this law. Means in this particular law, when we talk about the Forest Conservation Act 1980, the government made it very clear that conservation of the forest land, in a simple words, when we talk about the conservation for the forest land, means it cannot be used for any other purpose. It's completely prohibited. Any person who disobeys this law is entitled to imprisonment for 15 days. On the other hand, when we talk about the Environmental Conservation Act 1986, the purpose of this act is to control the pollution and punish the person or institutes harming the environment. Means in this they made it very clear that this particular act, the Environmental Conservation Act 1986, this will be for those persons or for that kind of a persons or the institutes which are harming the environment. Means it is to control the pollution in the environment. On the other side, when we talk about the Wildlife Protection 1972, as per clause 49A of this act, trading of rare animals has been completely banned. And then the 49B, use of articles prepared from skin or organs of wild animals has been banned. And the clause 49C, disclosure of the stock of artifacts made from rare wild animals is compulsory. Means the factories or the industries who are using this particular rare animals skin or the parts of their body, they have to give the disclosure of it from where they got that. After that, the clause 49B and 49A, as already we have discussed, it is about the animals protection and their skin or the organs of wild animals, they are completely banned. Next part in this particular chapter, they have discussed a very important and very interesting story of a person whom we know as a small man but a big work. The Jadov Mulai Payang is a highly capable person born in nomadic tribe of Assam. Born in 1963, he is working as a forest worker since age of 16 years. Once large number of snakes died in the flood of Brahmaputra river flowing by the village. As a preventive measures, Molai planted 20 bamboos plantlets in 1979. The local social forestry department began a social afforestation project on 200 hectares of land. Molai was one of the few forest workers who were looking after that project. Molai continued to plant the trees even after completion of the project. As a result of his continuous work of planting and caring for the trees, the barren area witnessed the forest cover over the 1360 acres. This particular person continued with his work, which was for the few years, but he continued it for a long time, and a result of that is he covered almost 1360 acres of the land, and that's totally converted into a forest now. Today this jungle is Kokila Mukh of Jorhat district of Assam is the result of the hard work for 30 years. He has been awarded with the prestigious Padma Shri award by Government of India for his unparalleled work. Now it is well known as Molai Jungle. Many people come together to destroy the forest, but a single person, if determined, can establish a new forest. So this is one of the most interesting topic we are having under this particular chapter. Next, what we have to discuss is environmental conservation and biodiversity. The environmental conservation plays a very important role in the biodiversity. The maintenance of the biodiversity is very much important. If biodiversity we have to keep intact, we should take care of the environment. In that, the first what we have to discuss is a genetic diversity. Occurrence of the diversity among the organisms of same species is genetic diversity. This already we have studied in a reproduction chapter that genetic diversity is possible only if there is a proper reproduction. The sexual reproduction which gives genetic diversity, and for that the species should be conserved. The occurrence of a diversity among the organisms of a same species is genetic diversity. For example, each human being is different from other. Possibility of wiping out the species arises if there is decrease in the diversity within the species members involved in sexual reproduction. Next is species diversity. Innumerable species of organisms occur in the nature. This is called as a species diversity. Species diversity includes various types of plants, animals, and microbes. And the last one, that is the ecosystem diversity. Many ecosystems are present in each region, and that should be properly conserved. Each ecosystem has its own characteristic animals, plants, microbes, and abiotic factors. Ecosystems are also of two types, are natural and artificial, and that should be properly conserved. The next, they have given one more interesting story over here is about the sacred groves. The forest conserved in name of God are considered to be sacred is called as sacred grove. These are in fact sanctuaries conserved by the society and not by the government forest department. As it has been conserved in the name of God, it has special protection. These clusters of thick forest are present not only in western Ghats of India but in the entire country. More than 13,000 sacred groves have been reported in India. Where are such sacred groves in Maharashtra? That list is you are supposed to make this as an assignment for you. So search on the net in the books that where are this kind of a sanctuaries or the sacred groves are present in the Maharashtra. Further, they have given over here is how can biodiversity be conserved? How we can conserve the biodiversity? In that, the 7 different points they have given. The first one is protecting the rare species of organism. Then we can have establishing national parks and sanctuaries, declaring some regions as bioreserves or the bioreserves. Then projects for conservation of special species, conserving all plants and animals, observing the rules, and maintaining record of a traditional knowledge. These are the methods by which biodiversity can be conserved. Now, here are the two things they have given, that is a voluntary organization and the International Environment Organization. There are various NGOs, the societies, they are working for the conservation of the biodiversity and the environment. So that labels they have given over here, the different names or the different organizations who are working, and the international organizations, that list they have given over here. So you can go through it and learn about this. The next parts we will see in the next lecture.